my darlings, look, I'm going to tell you something, okay? I know you're going to be a bit shocked at first, okay? I've literally gotten wounds all over my body, all over, even on my butt. That's how it is. I know right now you're thinking, what are you telling me, honey? What do you mean by that? Well, look, I'm going to tell you everything, okay? The experience, because honestly, you can't miss this. I mean, there's a lot to unpack here. It begins on a beautiful September 24th when I attend class as usual, wearing long pants. Suddenly I see, I see that I have a wound in my groin and I'm like, but it's a big wound with a scab already. I mean, I saw it when it already had a scab and it had been rubbing. I mean, I realized that day when it already had a scab, It was kind of weird, right? Well, we stayed there looking at it. We saw that the wound was getting bigger and we saw that I started getting more wounds like that all over my butt, Okay, so just to be a bit graphic, I started getting them all over my butt. Of course, it's true that in the summer, I usually get some kind of pimples like all over my butt. I guess it's because of the heat and all that. So we thought it was that, but then looking at it, we realized it wasn't. And then it wasn't just pimples anymore. They were wounds, like wounds with scabs, wounds that hurt, that were oozing. I was sitting on the couch when I suddenly felt it oozing. I thought, no, that's so gross, please. We began asking Chatty, since she's always there when needed. So we asked Chatty. She started saying it might be bacteria, possibly bacteria released through sweat. At this point, since it's already September or October, it's not even hot anymore. I mean, no, things just didn't add up for me. We let the days pass and I kept getting more and bigger wounds. I'll show you one now. Can you see it? This was a small spot. I have more here, see? Let's get to the point. I keep getting more. And it reached a point where I was getting small wounds, okay? Tiny ones, and they kept getting huge, really huge, and it was like, what's happening here? I mean, no, I don't understand anything. Honestly, it felt like a little bug was crawling all over me doing this. Eating around the wound made no sense since the wounds kept growing and wouldn't heal. From September 24 to today, October 10, only 2 have healed. They honestly just wouldn't heal. The thing is, I always got wounds, and there was one, for example, one that came out here, and that's one of the ones that has gone away. It came up like a kind of pimple, but not really a pimple. I mean, it was like a lump of skin, and then it turned into a wound, which was also hard for me to deal with here. A huge wound that just didn't make much sense. It's kind of like a pimple, right? We said we should see a doctor since it doesn't make sense. The thing is, we didn't know if it was going to be contagious either. No. I had already been walking around my house with everyone for a week or two. And wait, just you wait. And there was one day, okay? I got a fever. I had a high fever. And I never get fevers. And if I do, it's always low, okay? I often get low fevers, but I never get high ones. So this one came out of nowhere. I mean, I was just at home, totally fine. And suddenly I had a slight fever, which made no sense to me. So I said, let's call the doctor, let's make an appointment. In fact, I remember that when we started to see what was happening and everything, we said, let's make an appointment. And we saw that it was for a week later, and we thought it didn't make sense because by then I would already be better, so we didn't make the appointment. Well, that week, I mean, just imagine the appointment was for Monday, and we said no because I probably wouldn't have it anymore, but then on Friday of that week. So another week had passed since that Monday. We said, that's it. I mean, they're just getting worse and they're not going away. So we said, that's it. We're going to make an appointment for real. And we go to the doctor. I go to the doctor. I get to the doctor. After waiting for quite a while, I tell her everything that's happening to me, everything. And also an important detail is that just the day before, I got 3 blisters, okay? Wounds, but in the form of blisters, Something that had never happened to me before, okay? It only happened the day before. Well, I tell the doctor everything. She asked me to show her. I showed her. And it seems like the woman only saw the blisters, ma'am. She only saw the blisters. She didn't realize they were wounds or that they were growing and not healing. She didn't even notice the fever. She said, blisters, do you know what you have? Girl, you have pemphigoid. Why? No, I don't know, since she saw the blisters and said, that's it. Then she told us about pemphigoid saying, that's what you're doing. That's what your body is doing. It's an autoimmune response from your body, and it shows up as blisters. That's it. I'll prescribe corticosteroids. We asked her about the fever, but she said no, likely because of the herpes you have there, the one I had here. It was one of those sores that were coming out all over my body. Don't you see you have a herpes? And I said, no, it's one of these sores that's coming out all over my body. It has nothing to do with this. She just didn't care. So we went home a little upset, thinking this doesn't add up. My mom and I kept talking to Chatty, and I kept getting more. Meanwhile, I kept taking the corticosteroids, which are supposed to, she said to me, it's nothing. I'll prescribe them for 3 or 4 days because this goes away right away. Yeah, right away, honey. I've been dealing with these damn wounds for 3 weeks. Anyway, we go home, keep looking at something, and eventually say, this isn't right. It doesn't add up. Nothing this lady told me makes sense. I'm telling you. I got them directly from wounds. I just got those 3 blisters, but everything else came from wounds. You know, it was very strange. They kept getting bigger. Some of them itched. I mean, no, it had nothing to do with it. So after a week or so, we said, that's it. Let's go to the emergency room. I thought, well, maybe they'll run some tests. Maybe they have more experience. I don't know, because honestly, the girls didn't help at all. She saw it and said, that's it. But you can't be sure if you're not certain since you've only seen 3 blisters. So you should run some tests on me. I don't know. I don't know how that works, but anyway. Oh, by the way, she told us it wasn't contagious. Since it wasn't an autoimmune response from the body, it wasn't contagious. Okay, emergency room, we go to the doctor. We go in after waiting for 2 hours. But anyway, we go in, and right away, as soon as the doctor sees my wounds, he says, you have impetigo. You know what's funny? Wait, when I came there, I wasn't saying, they told me this. I was just showing the wounds and saying, this doesn't make sense to me. So many of you told me, girl, that's impetigo, and actually, I've had it before and I'm telling you it's impetigo. Saying it was a bacteria, that it takes a long time to go away, and the girl said, no, it's nothing, just the body and corticosteroids would clear it in 3 days. But that wasn't true. The doctor told me that's all. That's impetigo, it's nothing, but very contagious. And I had already spent a week around people, you know? Because the doctor said it wasn't contagious. Well, she prescribed me antibiotics. She prescribed me some kind of formula, some little liquid to heal my wounds. And she asked me, have you been to the doctor? And I say yes. And she says, what did they prescribe you? I tell her corticosteroids. She says, great, that's only gonna make it worse. Honestly, I have nothing against doctors, and I'm not the one who studied medicine for 6 years. But something wasn't done right. I just think that if she had listened to what I was telling her, she would have told me what I actually had. But she decided not to listen to me and just focus on the blisters. So not only are you telling me something I don't have, you're telling me it's something that's not contagious and that it's just something with my body. On top of that, she prescribed me something that only makes the problem worse. I mean, not only does it not solve it, it actually makes it worse. Hello? So I go home, we go to the pharmacy, whatever, we get the antibiotics, and that's it. I'm already on antibiotics. That little liquid also arrived a few days ago. It's really weird because it doesn't get absorbed. So I've done what I could with it, but that's it. Now I'm just waiting for it to heal. But it's really funny because the lady told me 3 days or something like that and it'll go away. And some of you are telling me, because there are quite a few people who have it, that you're replying to me and telling me it lasts a long time. A girl told me she's had it since August. It's now October, so that's a few months. I've just been living my life, wearing long pants, so nothing touches it since it's mostly on my legs. I thought it wasn't contagious, but now I know it is. I live with my parents, dogs, and boyfriend. Hey, I just think she should have listened to me more, or at least done a test if she wasn't sure. A chatty said they do biopsies. Couldn't she have done one? I don't know. Don't ask me. I've been a little scared, as I said. Many of you say the wounds last a long time, won't heal, and mention a cream. Others, look, there are mothers telling me that their children have been hospitalized because of impetigo, because it spread everywhere. So it's not a trivial thing, you know? It's a bit more concerning, let's say. Then there are people who managed to get rid of it and were left with scars. I don't know. Since I have it, it's mainly on my butt and especially my legs. So every time I sit down, I'm rubbing against it. I mean, right now I'm rubbing against the chair. I just want to die. They hurt, they're open wounds that keep getting bigger. I mean, they're wounds, they hurt, and they also itch. But OMG, they itch like hell. They itch so much. And you can't scratch them. Obviously, I have to be like this, it itches, so I have to scratch right next to it to trick my brain. It's true that it could have been worse. I wasn't hospitalized, thankfully. The issue has only affected my legs and butt. I don't have anything on my arms, thank goodness, but I don't like it. I mean, really, it's not a very pleasant feeling, honestly. I mean, I'm covered in wounds. And that's it. I'll keep you updated on how it goes. If any of you have experience with this, which I suppose you do, because with all the people talking to me on Instagram and TikTok who have it, I think some of you might have it too. So tell me, how are you dealing with it? If anything has happened to you? If you've healed, please, that gives me a lot of hope, and I'll keep you posted on how it goes, okay? I love you all so much, my darlings. A big kiss. Mwah!